record on this computer. Okay. How many people have yet to write a lot of Python? I know all of our pre-work, some of the application, if depending on, you had a choice of whether you want to do it in JavaScript or Python. So this part is where we're going to do, JavaScript on one side and the Python equivalent on the other. So down here, I'm in the Code Platoon Lima challenges. Excuse me. Move the screen a little bit. All right. I'm going to make a directory. In order to make a directory, I'm going to mkdir. I'm going to do JavaScript, Python review, cd.js. So JavaScript Python review is over here on my left-hand side in the Explorer. I'm going to cd into JS Python review, enter, currently in the JS Python review directory. I'm going to list everything out. Nothing exists. So I'm going to create two files, a practice.js file and a practice. What is a Python file? What does it end in? What's the extension?
.py.
.py. So how do I make a file again?
Touch.
So touch practice.js space practice.py. So, and if I list everything out, and now in the JS Python review directory, I've got my practice.js and practice Python. I can come up here and expand my directory, and there we've got a JS, because we got that cool, icons extension installed on VS Code that puts that up there, and then we also have the Python logo next to the Python files. Cool. So I'm going to open, I just want to open this up in the current directory. How do I do that? What's the command to just open the Python review in the current window?
-r dot.
Yep. Python -r dot. So it's going to close and reopen VS Code with just the Python review. And then nothing's opened in the editor. I can double click on that. Did anybody have a question? Nope. All right. And I'm going to open the practice one as well. I'm going to close the Explorer by clicking that. And in the upper left-hand corner, I'm going to close that. And then I'm going to split the screen. So I've got the practice Python file and the practice JavaScript file. I'm going to close that. So how do I declare a variable in JavaScript? There's a few ways again.
Let, var, or const.
Let. So I'm going to do const. So what's something that, and what is const? How is it different than let?
It can't be changed.
Can't be changed. So what's something that really can't be changed? Let's say like their last, I'm going to say like my first name. I don't ever plan on changing my first name. So I'm going to do Tom or const first name Tom. And what's something that about me that changes? So let age. Does anybody know my age? Old. No, I'm just joking. 34. So that changes. And what's the Python equivalent to first name? Like, how do I declare a variable in Python?
There's no special way, you just start.
There's no special way, you just start.
Yeah.
So
you do, for constants, you want to have it all caps, if I remember right.
Yep.
I haven't really used constants in a while, but so the variable name would be all capitalized to represent a constant that shouldn't be changed.
Yep. So when you declare a variable, there is no let or const. You just write it out. So age equals 34. As you said, if it's a const, there really isn't a. So if you want to visually let somebody know that, hey, this is a variable that should never change, it is first name. Like, it should all be all caps, but it should be like first name. like that. But 99% of the time, you're just going to do first name. And Python is snake case, and JavaScript is camel case. So when you words separate that are generally space separated in Python, you do a little underscore and it's all lowercase, whereas in JavaScript, everything's combined and the word separation is denoted by a capital letter. So first name is always like the start of a variable. It's going to be lowercase, and then every word after it will be uppercase. All right. What else do we have? Let me pull up something real quick. Curriculum math.
Just on that, does Python strict or less strict on the semicolons?
You don't have semicolons in Python.
Okay.
Let's see what else. All right. So in Python, we have, let's do some arithmetic in Python. So we can have addition, right? So, well, first, if I wanted to console log something like console log 2 plus 2, I'm going to do node practice.js 2 plus 2 equals 4. If I wanted to print out or console print out down here in the terminal in Python, how do I do that?
Print in
Print.
parentheses, whatever you want to print out.
Yep. You just type print. Really easy. Plus 2. And I'm down here. Whoop. And if I want to run a Python file, how do I run it? In JavaScript, it's node followed by the JavaScript file. In Python, it is what?
Python followed by the file.
Cool. Yep. Python practice.py. We have 7. Cool. So we can add stuff, print. We can subtract stuff. We can multiply stuff times 2. That's how you. We can divide stuff. Divide numbers. 4 divided by 2. And with, if I wanted to divide something, console log, 5 divided by 2 in JavaScript, what is that going to be? Python, node practice.js. Oh, I'm going to console log that out. So it's 2.5. If I wanted to round that down to the nearest whole number, well, how do I do that? We did it in Roman numerals.
Math.floor.
Math.floor. Let's see this work. 2. Now, if I wanted to round down in Python, how do I do that?
You just do int.
You do.
No, as far as simple division, you just do a second division sign. So you make JavaScript comments basically in Python would be a double division.
Okay. So let's just run Python, this Python file. Oh. You can do 2.5 if I wanted to round down. So we have this 1 division. If I wanted to round that down to the nearest, I can do double division. So if I run that again, it's 2. And I heard someone else say, what is it, int?
Yeah, int will do it.
So if I do int like that, or
Just a single, yeah.
let's see if that works. Cool. Yep. So you do double division or int like that. Does that automatically round it down?
It converts any float to an integer, so and it floors it. Not it doesn't round based on
Okay,
regular rounding rules.
cool. If I wanted to do exponents, print so 2 to the power of 2, what would that look like?
Double asterisk.
So double asterisks like that. Let's actually do 3, 2. So this would be clear. 8. Great. What else do we got? What is 5% sign 2? What is that going to equal?
1.
7.5.
Equals 1. What is this? What is this little percent sign?
Did you lose?
Remainder.
Yep, it's
Remainder.
it's called modulus. So 5 modulus 2 gives the remainder of, like, so 5 divided by 2 equals 4 point whatever, but it gives the actual remainder, how many numbers are left. So 5 modulus 2 returns the remainder. So the remainder would be 1. What's the equivalent in same thing? It's 5 modulus 2.
Pernat, you're gonna.
Oh, thank you. Clear. 1. What if I do 6 modulus 2? What is that going to equal?
0.
0.
0.
0. So 6 divided by 2 equals 4 with 0 remainders, or 3, sorry, with 0 remainders. Same thing with over here. If I do node practice.js, great.
Tom,
Yep.
in VS Code, there's a little run button, the green button on the right, on your right corner, or on the Python file. You can use it to run it, right?
Yeah, the run button does the same thing as running it in the terminal.
Yep. So you run Python file in terminal, and if I highlight that, I don't even know where that one's at.
I don't think there is one for JavaScript.
Oh, okay.
Python.
I did not know that.
I would recommend that you get in the habit of running from the command line anyway, because that's good developer cred mostly. And you may end up using different text editors that may not have that extension.
Great point, Noah. Yeah, just get used to running everything via commands and not utilizing your text editor like buttons and stuff. What did I just do? Oh, ran a JavaScript file in Python. Clear. So we have this. What if I... Oh. Excuse me. So what else we have? String interpolation in JavaScript. Console log, if I want to do, hi, my name is... Hi, my name is Tom. Hi, my name is first name. I am this many years old. I can do, hi, my name is first name. I'm, what is it? Age, years old. Node practice.js. How do I do that in Python? Do print How do I do string interpolation in Python?
Of parentheses, and then use curly brackets for your variables.
So I can do F and then utilize just curly brackets like this, like I do here, without the percent sign. So, hi, my name is curly brackets. So it changes colors. First name, which is nice. I'm curly brackets, age, years old. Let's run that. Python practice.py. Cool. So that's string interpolation in Python. And
As a side note, Tom, you can't use F strings prior to 3.6 Python, just in case you ever work on an older code base for some reason.
awesome. Thank you. Did not know that. So
Those are called F strings, by the way. That right
F strings?
F strings, yeah.
Great. F string. Cool. Like it. And so you can't use it between versions 3.6. You can't use these. This doesn't exist.
It released in 3.6, so prior to 3.6, you
Okay.
can't use F strings.
Great. So if you are working, like as you mentioned, if you're working on an application at a company that uses like a version lower than 3.6, this doesn't work. All right. What else do we have?
And Tom, just to follow up to the one who said that we can't use that, is there another way to do string interpolation?
With an older version of Python, I don't know. I've only used 3.7.
There's two other ways you can do that same thing right there. Well, not the same thing, but there's two other ways you can do that. There's a format string where you put dot format at the end of the string,
Mhm.
and then pass it the arguments that you want. There's a few different ways. I can put it in Slack or something.
Yeah.
You
For
can
this-
also just type out like print and then put your variables, comma, then your string, then comma, then your variable, commas, whatever else you want to write. So like in this case, it would be a string of hi, my name is space, and then comma, first name, and then the rest of the string.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, with the
Concatenations.
adding on to the comma that I guess Meryl mentioned, it will automatically throw in a Tom's right in screen concatenation, but with the comma version, it'll automatically put a space in between. So if you wanted to have the Tom with a period immediately afterwards, it will not. It'll have a space in between.
Nice. Cool. But we're working on 3.7, so you only pretty much have to worry about this in string interpolation, the F strings. All right. Let's talk about some if statements, control flow. So if, age is greater than or equal to 21, you could say the console log, welcome to the bar. Else, but if age is greater than or equal to 18, say console log, go vote. Else, I don't know. Else, console log, go away. So if I run this, console or node practice.js, what should print out? If age,
Welcome to the bar.
yep. So I've got the console log here, string interpolation. Then we have if statements. What's the equivalent? So in JavaScript, everything, this block of code is pretty much everything within this if statement. And here is within this block of code, how does it know how does it like determine whether or not this is within this block of code?
It's using the curly braces.
Uses the curly braces. So anything within these curly braces, and because we have some extensions installed, it says when I like click in here, it's got this line, this little yellow line. This is like a nice block of code. So I'm within this block of code. In Python, so I can like do space, put this all the way out here. I can move this there. I can put that there, and it's still going to execute the same. It doesn't look pretty, but it still knows anything within this block of code, anything within these parentheses will execute. So spacing doesn't matter in JavaScript. It does as far as readability, and you're expected to have clean, readable code. So in that manner, spacing matters. But as far as executing the code and what code you want to actually execute, spacing doesn't matter. In Python, it's a little bit different. So if I wanted to do the same equivalent here, I can do if, and I don't need parentheses in Python. It's age is greater than or equal to 21. And now how do I know to like go on this other next line? By a semicolon. And then see how when I press enter, it's automatically indented. But if I just click there, it just goes back to in line with the if statement. If I click there, spacing matters in Python. So I can do print welcome to the bar. Then again, now if I want to do the else if, what's the else if equivalent in Python?
elif.
Elif. It's kind of weird, but I need to go back in line with this if statement. So elif, see, it's kind of already knows. It's like a elif, age is greater than or equal to 18. I need a semicolon, or is it colon? Yep. Click enter, print, go vote. Then I enter. Now I got to go back in line with the if statement. Else, print, go away. So if I clear back in the console, I'm going to Python practice.py. Hi, my name is Tom. I'm 34 years old. Up here, and it says welcome to the bar. Now if I go and click that and move this else, if I try to run it, it says, whoa, line 19, indentation error. So in file practice.py, this is the file I'm currently in, line 19. I'm going down to here, line 19, print go vote, expected an indentation. So indentation error, expected an indented block, because after this should be indented. Let's run this again. This else, indentation error, expected indented. So if I click that, so it needs the, there we go. That doesn't really, I guess, matter right now. But if I did like print test, see if this works. Yep, so right there. So these are two within the same block of code, or should be in the same block of code, but it says, hey, indentation error, unindent does not match any outer indentation level. So it needs, I can go like this and move this forward, but we want it everything kind of indented on the same line. So I can go like that. That should work.
What is the standard indent for Python? Is it 2 spaces?
I'm sorry?
The standard indent is 2 spaces?
I think it's supposed to, it's generally 4. I think it's just in my settings, I have it as 2.
Okay.
It should be.
During the install fest, the preference you had is load. I think set Python tab equivalent 4 spaces.
Okay.
So,
Okay,
so just to speak on that, whoever you're working with, you should have agreed upon spacing, because Python will yell at you if you mix indentation. Like if you do 2 and then 4 and then tab, like you can use 2 or 4 or tab space, like tab indentation characters. Python will let you run any of them, but the moment you mix them, it'll give you a mixed indentation error. So some of them are hard to find because they're invisible characters. So
Yeah. So yeah, just make sure you have agreed upon of how many tabs or how many spaces. I just kind of go with the default of what my settings have right now. But sometimes my settings get messed up or they change. So sometimes it goes the 4 spaces, which is 2 tabs. Other times it's just how it was before, like just the 1, like that. All right, let's write some functions. How do we write some functions in JavaScript? So I can do like function, say hello. I can take in a name and age. I can say console log. Hi, let's do the string interpolation. Name. Oh, what is going on? Then I can execute this, say hello. Function. I can say like first name, age. I could run this. I'm going to comment this out. I run this in the console practice.js. Write down you're 34 years old. I can also make arrow function const say hello equals name, age, and then same thing. Say hello. So arrow function, regular function. If I wanted to write a function in Python, I can do def. So def say underscore hello, because we use snake case. Name, age, followed by colon. Enter, so it knows this is going to be inside of a code block, so it's automatically indented. I can print f string. I'm going to copy this. And then get rid of these. So clear. 1, 2, 3, 4. Python practice. Hi, my name is Tom. I'm 34 years old. So if I had that on the same line, I'm going to throw an error, indentation error. So I need to indent that. Right.
Hey, Tom, it's Colby. I've been putting a space prior to my colons, so they kind of stick out to the right and are easy to see. Do you guys have a style guide, or is that something that's coming later, or you guys don't care?
I've never seen the spaces after you declare the function. We don't have a specific style guide. It's kind of I've always seen it done like that, because if you see the def, you kind of know that's where that's going to be a function.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, Tom, did you actually run that function in the Python file?
Yep.
The result is, hi, my name is Tom, and I'm 34 years old.
Oh, yeah, I guess it looked like it. Sorry. I did not run that function. Thank you. So in order to execute the function, say hello. And you need to pass in first name and age. So clear. There we go. So I didn't actually execute it. This was what was printing out. So I passed in the first name and the age into the function, or into the method, and executed it. All right. Let's talk about for loops. So say I have let or const number array goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got an array here and an array. I'm going to do first name. So I've got just a number array, or some array that has 1 through 8, followed by hi and first name and age. There's no reason for them, just for all intents and purposes. Same thing over here. Some array equals the same thing. So if I wanted to loop through this array and print out everything at the index, I can do a for loop for let I equals 0. What is it? I is less than some array dot length, then iterate, increase every single time. And I can print console log the index at each one of these, the value at each one of these indexes by doing sum array at index there, whatever index I'm currently on. So I can do node practice JS, prints them all out or consoles them there. I can also do, what's another way I can loop through an array? Some array dot for each. Going to say index or element console log element. Clear. Right there. How do I loop through how do I do, there's a few ways I can do for loops in Python. First one is I can do, if I know how many times I want to repeat something, how do I do that? Does anybody know? If I know specifically how many times I want to repeat something.
If you know specifically, so I would do for I in range, and then the number of times.
And then the number of times. So range like 10. And I want to print, hello index, or hello iteration I. So this should print it, what, 10 times? Let's see. Oh. Oh, first name is not defined because there is no first name. It's first underscore name. Hello, iteration 1, 2, 3. So it looks like it's for I in range 10. It doesn't prints everything out up into excluding 10. If I actually wanted to do 10, I'll do in range 11. And there we go, 0 through 10. What if I wanted to do print it every other? Does anybody know that?
After the whatever, I can't remember the circle thing, half circle thing.
This part?
Go right arrow one time.
Here?
Yeah. What is it I'm having trouble with the parentheses. There you go. Okay, after the parentheses, sorry.
Yep.
Square brackets, double colons, 2.
Like that?
2 colons.
2 colons, like so?
Yes, I think.
Let's figure that out. Yep. So in range from 0 through 10, excluding 11, iterate every other, so every 2. One way. What if I want to loop through this array and print everything out?
You can do it without indices by doing for item in some array.
So for item in some array, which is this array, I can print item. See that? Python practice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 prints everything out. Let's look at the chat. Whoop.
Hey, Tom, can I add something to your line 31?
Yep.
You can remove the slice that you did.
This part?
Yep, you can. That's a slicing of it. You can put 0, a leading 0 in the front.
Here?
For the starting point. I'm sorry. The first argument as a 0, and then leave the 11, and then do a third argument as 2. Yep, and that's the step. And that will, then you don't have to reslice again.
So I'm gonna go back. There's this way, as well as so it starts at 0, goes up to 11, and iterates every 2. So it takes in 3. There's range. Where is it? Platoon count. So if I look at range in Python, W3 schools, great resource. Take range. So it could range the starting point, the stopping point, and the step. So optional. So the only one is officially the required one.
And it doesn't say it there, but the starting point is inclusive. You'll hear it called inclusive because it includes that number. The stopping point is exclusive, so it'll stop before that number.
So
when you hear those terms.
Yep. So range starting at 1, inclusive of 1, and stopping at 11, exclusive of 11. So excluding 11. So if I run that. So 1, and it iterates every 3. 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and it doesn't include 11. But if I just, so you don't, if you only want to iterate by 1, you don't need that. It's an optional.
Hey, Tom, I had a quick question.
Yep.
Chris, you might know this too. I know JavaScript doesn't care about mixed types in an array, but does Python, Python would prefer a tuple there, right? Instead of, does it matter, or is that just like a community preference?
I don't know specifically if there is a preference. I think Python is trying to stop utilizing tuples. I think they're trying to move away from tuples.
Okay.
When you say tuples, where inside of range?
No, like when you define some array,
Oh.
because there's mixed types in there, that should technically be a tuple, no?
Not specifically. I don't know if I'm processing it how you're saying it. Because there's mixed type,
Like
Python's
numbers,
dynamically typed. Yeah,
numbers, string.
Python will figure it out, but I don't know if there's like something that you read that says like some kind of standard.
That's
I
not
don't.
super important. I can talk to you offline about it. It's not a huge
Yeah, it's cool. I'm actually curious too. So I haven't read anything like that personally, but
Yeah,
to be precise, that's a list, not an array. So if you use the term array loosely, then yeah, you can call that an array. But that's actually just a list of objects, not an array in the strict sense of these are memory locations spaced out based on the data type.
Yeah, that comes in from some other extra PyPy module, I think. Or NumPy is where you can actually start using the array stuff. But yeah, you could have a list of dictionaries and, you know, integers. You know, you have mixed objects in a list, and it's okay.
Yeah, we're not going to really get into tuples too much. You'll see them a little bit in Django, but you can actually, in place of a tuple, you can use an array. And we're not going to go over tuples because.
Can you go more? You can't. Can you go more than one dimension deep in a Python list? I thought it was a single dimension.
No, you can go deep, like so.
You can go until you run out of memory if you want to.
Yeah. So I use lists and arrays differently. Just I use arrays and arrays and objects just because I'm used to JavaScript, but they're lists and dictionaries. You can also hear hash. They're all kind of use them, and like functions and methods. They're all kind of interchangeable. All right. And let's look at another one. What am I looking at? There's also enumerate. So we have a counter and value in enumerate. So look at when you're typing, IntelliSense kind of knows. I think this is IntelliSense that's doing this. Class enumerate iterable, probably a list. Enumerate object yields pairs containing a count from start values and values yielded by iterable arguments. So if I do enumerate, I can import some array, or I can call it some list. And then I can print the counter, which keeps track of the index and the value at that index. So this is going to be, the index is 0, but the value is 1. And it's going to keep going. Let's see what this looks like.
Summary is not defined.
Oh, it's a sum list. Thank you. So it's a traceback file practice 3, line 40, which is here. Counter value, sum array, name error, sum array is not defined. So it's going to be sum list. So I'm going to look at string f counter. I'll just say the index counter value I should call this index as well. Clear. Right there. Index 0 all the way to 10 and the value. So we can use enumerate as well. And if you don't want to use the index, you can always just do that. That's like a, or like what is it, index. If you're defining a variable that you're never using, it's okay to like put like just like that over it. So if I'm never actually going to be using the index, I can denote this value just by an underscore. But I am, so I'm going to do index. So here, index 0 through 10, and the value at that index. Does anybody have any questions about Python, JavaScript? Quick review. Nope. I'm gonna stop.